Well, I'm sitting here on the creek on my property and tell you a bear story that happened when we lived in Westcliff. I was sitting on the creek part of the time and I killed a bear with this rifle, which is a Ruger M77 mountain rifle, tapered barrel. And I've got the rifle in 1980 probably. The bear story was in 1992. And the game warden told me to go down to Levita, that they was having a lot of bear trouble around that town, and they'd be glad for me to shoot a bear. And I went down there and I met with some guys in a restaurant that was contractors, and they was building a house, another local or two, and they was trying to tell me where they might kill a bear, and told me that they was building a house and there was a bear coming there nearly every afternoon and messing with their stuff, tearing up stuff and breaking in and that kind of thing. But they said the only one big problem with that was there was a woman that lived next to it, and she was an anti-hunter, and she might cause you some problems if she knows you're there and probably harass you. But while we were sitting there, this young lady come in the front door and came straight to our table like she just knew who I was or whatever. She said, "Are you the bear hunter?" And I said, "Yeah." She said, "Well, come to the ranch. We got a bear that's just every day, every evening he comes in and eats the dog food, messes with the chickens and the wildlife, and bothers, their uh, livestock, and runs them off and that kind of stuff. Not the bear was going to eat it or anything, but he was just harassing." So I went with her. We went down south of Levita a ways in the edge of the mountain on a creek, and this little ranch was there, and she said the bear comes right down that creek right there almost every night. I said, okay, and there was a big cottonwood tree there, so I climbed up in that cottonwood tree, and I was sitting there waiting for the bear to come down so I could see him in the willows and all that kind of stuff. Well, I hadn't been there very long at all, and I hear, "John, John, John." Looked down, and there was that girl. She said, "The bear's in the backyard. You need to come shoot him." I said, okay, so I climbed down, and she took off in front of me, and I had to stop her because she was going to be between me and the bear. And anyway, I looked around the house, corner of the house, kind of, and the bear was laying on his belly, all four legs just spread out, eating the dog food out of the pan, and the dog was over in the corner just barking up a storm, just having a fit. Well, I lined up on the bear and shot it kind of far back because he was more than quartering away from me, so the bullet would go up through him. That bear jumped up and took off running, so I ran around the corner of the house and I shot the bear before he got in the willows and fell right there. So we loaded the bear up and I carried him into Levita, and the game warden was at a ball game. So I told him I got the bear, and he said, "No, I'm watching the ball game. You just go on to Westcliff and call your game warden." So I went on to Westcliff and called the game warden that night. The next morning he said, "I'll be out there early in the morning." So he come out there and measured the bear, and may have took a tooth out of it or whatever, and had put the tag on it. And so when he got through, I cleaned that bear, and it was the greasiest, oiliest thing I've ever seen. You'd had to clean your knife every few minutes because it was clogging up. But anyway, I got it clean, and we made a soup out of it first thing, and then I carried the hide down to Canyon City, and they had it tanned, and they didn't do a good job. It has fell apart, and I just took the claws off of it, and they're in the basement. So that's my bear story. It's not really almost embarrassing to tell such a story as that, but anyway, that was my first bear. Killed it with a 30-06 Ruger in 1992, I think it was. And y'all tune in to my other stories and subscribe to my channel, Kennedy Trail. Thank y'all, and God bless.